Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome warmly. This is an extra segment for the Mellina. With me are Wotawa and Jacek Mamel, representatives of Buglo, as you can see, and those who are watching us on YouTube. And for those who can only hear us, I would like to inform you that the representatives of Buglo are here, and this is because there was an auction by the Great Orchestra of Christmas Charity for an appearance in Mellina for a real conversation. The auction was long and bloody, well, maybe not bloody, but long, and you won as the company Buglo. So, congratulations and thank you. First, a question. Why did you auction Mellina?
I can tell you how our story with the Great Orchestra of Christmas Charity began. Last year, in August, we built a special playground for the children who attended the Poland Rock Festival with their parents. It featured several of our devices, along with some standard swings and slides. We also showcased our latest product, a toucan from the Organic series, which was a climbing toy that resembled a toucan and also served as an urban sculpture. It was the device that children enjoyed playing on the most. So we wanted to extend the story of this toucan a bit, and we donated it in January for auction at the Great Orchestra of Christmas Charity, which allowed us to raise 17,000 zlotys for the foundation. We thought that we could do even more, and we also wanted to auction something.
So a program for older children.
As we started browsing the available auctions, Mellina caught our eye the most, which is why we are here.
Great. Let's explain to the viewers and listeners that Buglo produces and creates playgrounds for children, really amazing ones. Check it out. I was preparing for the conversation and I was just filled with a shiver of envy. First, because I didn't have anything like that when I was little. And second, because I would love to set up something like that for my own children. But fortunately, I know many places where your equipment is probably great. And I wanted to ask how, I'm talking about researching the customer, which is the kids. How do you check what children like and what they don't like? Where to draw inspiration for new devices and toys? Where does this knowledge come from?
We have a very large showcase playground in Koszalin, and our designers often visit this playground.
You made this playground 2 years ago. Yes, it was a gift for the city. Well, yes, but that was 2 years ago, and the company has been operating for over 10 years. So how did it all start even before this big playground in Koszalin? It is known that every child likes to climb on some ropes to pyramids, or the swing always works. But new equipment is appearing, so how do you test it? How do you observe the children?
Because we have been on the market for over 10 years, we were not the first. There are companies that have vast experience in this field. We are not ashamed of that either. Such a strategy is to observe the best and the biggest. And for a certain period, Google developed in this way. We learned from the best. After some time, we decided that we would create absolutely our own interesting collections. And that is a good question. Why this and not something else? It really doesn't take much for children. It doesn't have to be super complicated. Sure, a tower with an 11-meter slide is something wonderful. But the mentioned toucan is simply a seesaw from my childhood, and it really isn't demanding. Children, seeing this unconventional sculpture, simply sit on it, hang from it, and do strange things that we, while collaborating with designers and the research department, did not expect they would do. They do such things. For example, they walk on top of a praying mantis. We designed it so that they can pass through its insides in those ropes, while the kids walk on top of the mantis, racing to see who can do what first. Of course, keeping in mind all safety standards and aspects to ensure that it is safer to play on this equipment, but the standard states that it should encourage development and risk. As we briefly discussed about Skandalavi, if a child goes into a place where we do not encourage them to enter, that's fine. It means they are capable and should take that risk.
And these Scandinavian influences, because I read an interview where Łukasz Kraszewski, the founder and owner of the company, mentioned that he had some internships at a Danish company. So these Scandinavian influences are definitely present. You are from Koszalin, which is close by, certainly closer than from Warsaw. I wanted to ask about the Scandinavian influences, meaning whether, for example, the trends there show that they like wood and prefer simple solutions.
The color scheme, we can definitely see that, because we are proud to be a manufacturing company, so everything takes place within our resources. We definitely adjust the color scheme. However, Scandinavia chooses completely different colors than, let's say, Poland, although this is not always the rule.
We also like playgrounds made of black locust wood. It is a very weather-resistant wood that does not require additional maintenance. And this is one of the favorite products in Scandinavia. They strongly embrace this natural trend and ecology. We are also now creating recycled playgrounds, which are made, among other things, from nets retrieved from the oceans. And this is also something that works very well in these Scandinavian directions. Although we also see different trends depending on the countries to which we export. Well, for example, countries in the Persian Gulf obviously choose our tallest towers, as we have towers that are even several meters high.
And are the towers the kind that you can slide down? Our collection is mega, meaning as high as possible. You fight for every meter to reach 13 meters so it can be seen, so it's powerful and large. And that's really cool. That's the Persian Gulf, right?
Yes, the Persian Gulf, definitely. Height, Scandinavia, nature, wood.
And where are the farthest, strangest, most exotic countries?
Regularly, Australia is definitely interesting. In Australia, they buy playgrounds in containers. It's an interesting fact that the same playground will be in Australia and in Szczecinek, meaning we don't have two different products. So we often say when our clients ask us if, dear sir, that slide in the heat will shrink, how will it behave?
We say that in Australia it holds up great because it has been there for years. And what about health and safety regulations in terms of safety? I understand that it varies, depending on the countries, whether here and there or everywhere.
The standard defines how we should behave, and in fact, apart from the European standard, the main differences lie in the American standards.
American ones are more stringent than...
It depends on which aspects. Sometimes they write that the degree should be at different heights, and it seems very safe, while on the other hand, it allows for a much more adventurous approach.
You mentioned your flagship playground in Koszalin. That's where you observe how the kids come with the controllers.
Then they call us some strange men are standing and staring at our children. I've been through that. That's why we wear vests. Then there is the service. If it says service, then everything is fine. This is the service. Does that calm you down? Well, of course, we are taking a look. We also have prototypes that we set up in front of our company, which we test ourselves because a computer is a computer, calculations are calculations, and then our team of cheerful designers goes in like big guys, checking that it can withstand much more than we designed. It's some kind of super work.
Once a month, we also invite children to our company, and a group of school or preschool children of various ages comes, mostly in the age range that still plays on playgrounds, and they also play on our equipment. We observe this. We also strongly educate children about safety during these visits. We teach children about first aid and invite paramedics because, after all, safety is an absolute foundation when it comes to design.
I was just looking at a photo from your company, some meeting at a table. I had the impression that there were 12-year-olds in the room. I mean, there were very young people sitting at the table. I was wondering if it was some kind of focus group or if you just have such young employees.
No, we don't know now which photos you were looking at. If it was 12 years ago, it was probably...
No, I was joking. No. It looked to me like a group of 20-somethings. Technically, maybe not, but I think we have quite a young team, it seems to me. Much younger than I am. Okay, so is everything in Koszalin? I mean the office, the production plant, the headquarters. Everything is in Koszalin.
Just as sometimes someone visits us at trade fairs, for example, the international one in Cologne, they look to see where you are. Koszalin, Poland. Somewhere out there, they know Warsaw, maybe Krakow, because they've heard of it, but it's very far away, so we double its size. How you manage to survive there? Very often someone approaches us with skepticism. He says, and in Koszalin you probably have an office importing everything, nothing happens there. With great pleasure, when you are around, if someone sees those 20,000 square meters of hall, sees that technological process, well, sometimes in small talk, when I tell someone what I do, I say I work in playgrounds, and they ask, what do you do there? Weld swings. Someone will see the machines, that army of welders. We have stainless steel, black. It's really a piece of technology, a huge responsibility, and also incredible design.
And tell me, are you the biggest in Poland?
Yes, in Poland, yes.
I understand that there is none. Is there serious competition? Yes, there is.
It's good that it exists.
All right. And tell me, on a scale of Europe and the world, how big are you?
We are fighting for the top 3, but I think for now, in Europe, yes, in Europe.
Top 3?
Yes. The world is still too early, so being in the top 3 in Europe is our goal. I think we are working towards it well.
Is the top 3 a goal, or is it just for now?
We are close. I think we could be entering the top 5 somewhere.
I think we are now around 7th place.
Yes.
Who do you compete with? Which countries are the manufacturers from?
Scandinavia, such a very large manufacturer, which is also a global producer. And factories in the Americas, and this is also a company founded in 1982. So I think that this time is a difference in building the very idea of the company and a huge sales network. Well, we are. Sometimes people ask us, are you really in the market for the 13th year? Where we started a bit, we laughed at, you founded it like Steve Jobs, who started it in his garage simply.
And what are the new features? On one hand, it is quite a traditional form of entertainment, as it involves going down, climbing up, pulling oneself up, etc. However, I still understand that designers create some gadgets for children.
We also do interesting things like building sports arenas and basketball hoops, which are very popular. It doesn't always have to be a playground. It can be for older kids. We also create fitness equipment for seniors and younger people, so that's absolutely part of it too.
For seniors, meaning those such...
Yes, ones that allow you to maintain, that form a bit through movement. I think that the devices are really cool. We are often associated only with playgrounds, but outdoor equipment, even urban furniture, is also something that is important to us.
benches, in the sense...
Yes, what would you like? Nice, designer, somewhere ecological, recyclable. That is also absolutely in our portfolio.
This is still a future for the industry currently being tested on drawing boards or designers' computers.
This also means the direction we are strongly pursuing regarding trends, which is integration, because we care a lot about ensuring that children with disabilities...
The integration of people with disabilities.
Yes, children with disabilities.
So what will be done in Koszalin? Is it some kind of swing?
Many devices are designed in such a way that children with disabilities have to independently access the equipment using a wheelchair and play by themselves. They require a special key to activate the device.
What device, for example?
Let's take a carousel or special swings for wheelchairs, but our design, development, and research department has worked very hard to ensure that children with disabilities can play with healthy children. We offer an inclusive swing that a child in a wheelchair can easily access, but it is healthy children who set this swing in motion. So it greatly promotes integration and shared play so that these children do not feel so alienated. We also collaborate with experts from the university in various fields, and they also strongly indicate that all devices should look this way. So I think this is a trend and direction that the entire industry should definitely take. Often, toys for children with disabilities are unused for most of the time.
And here the interaction is nice because we can actually use it all the time.
To design such playgrounds, what kind of education is required? I'm already talking about engineers and designers. Is it polytechnic or architecture? The Koszalin Polytechnic is very strong and well known in Poland. The Koszalin Polytechnic, yes. Is there collaboration? It has a huge tradition when it comes to...
But what direction is that?
Mechanical. Which one? Mechanical. Mechanical, right?
Only with us does the design process start from the design department. It actually begins with sketches. We have very talented people.
And what are these design people about?
Zornik is often...
Zorni, it often design, often after ESP, based on artistic drawing.
Yes, this is a very talented, creative team, and it all really starts with drawings. For example, the toucan that I mentioned at the beginning.
The work on it looked like this. First, they looked at pictures of how toucans actually appear in nature. Then they started sketching, and later they removed as many details as possible so that the development and research department, which is also technically creating these products, could implement it all safely.
In general, they say that what the design department draws cannot be done. They say it can't be done, but of course I'm joking now because they are learning from each other. The graphic designer knows exactly what standards the constructor will use, so he tries to help him, and the constructor tries not to ruin his creation. In the end, it must primarily be a safe toy, but it shouldn't lose that design aspect. It's easy to just connect the pipes, but we need to create something like this.
So thank you very much